And tonight, on to a totally different topic, the hidden dangers lurking in your home. Some 35 million have them. In fact, this is the first hazard, I believe. These hazards are linked to around a third of asthma cases and another 6 million injuries among seniors. So how do you fix home hazards you may not even be aware of? We're asking Tom Kraeutler, host of the nationally syndicated Money Pit radio show. You've spent 20 years looking at this stuff. I mean, you really know because you were a home inspector.
Yep, that's right.
So you've seen the worst of the worst. So we've got a long list of things to get through here. Paint is your first. Is that number one?
Yeah, that's a big concern. And we're talking here about lead paint. You say, well, lead paint hasn't been on the market since 1978. But guess what? It's in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of American homes. It's below the surface. And when you renovate those homes, you expose the folks that live in those homes to that lead paint. And it can result in them becoming sick.
What do you have to do to mitigate?
So contractors today have to be certified when they work in these older homes. And essentially what they're doing is they're setting up barriers between the working space and the rest of the house. They're depressurizing those spaces so that anything that gets into the air gets drawn outside and replaced with fresh air.
So you're not face to face with that. I'll tell you what I'm worried about is mold.
Yeah. And you know why it's more of a concern today than ever before? A couple of reasons. First of all, very wet winter, right? Secondly, homes are tighter today, Gerri, than they ever were before.
And that's not necessarily good.
Well, it's good for an energy perspective, but of course you're more exposed to indoor air pollutants, mold being one of them. So you really have to be mindful. You have to ventilate vigorously. You have to have all of the fans working in your house. You have to have them vent outside. You want to keep your moisture down in the house. And also, if you're going to be remodeling, choose materials that are mold resistant. For example, drywall is mold food, but you can buy drywall that's covered with fiberglass, not paper, that mold can't eat.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay. My big fear also is bugs.
Yep.
I just do not like bugs, and yet we get them from time to time. It seems like we can't avoid them.
Well, in the 20 years I spent as a home inspector, there were two types of homes I found, those that had termites and those that were going to get termites. Okay?
Oh, no.
They're a big
I hate
issue.
that whole idea.
$5 billion of damage every year caused by termites, and you can't always see them because they work inside the wood. They don't really show themselves unless you get one of these crazy swarms, and then it looks like an episode of The Birds.
How do you stop them?
So what you do is there's chemicals, there's treatments that can go into the soil. They're called undetectables, and the termites go back to the soil every 2 days for water. As they pass through these termiticides, they basically take it back to the nest, they pass it to the other termites, and that wipes out.
Dead.
That wipes out. It's like germ warfare for termites.
So I bet that's not green. But let's talk about water for a minute, because you have some scary things to say about water. Now, I think I'm in the New York area. We have great water here.
Yeah, we do, and thankfully in most parts of the country. But there was a research project that showed that there were trace amounts of pharmaceuticals in 40 million American homes. So what you can do to try to improve your water, a couple of things. First of all, never drink it right out of the tap. You know, if you like to get up in the morning and stick your coffee pot under it and turn it on and fill it up, not waste a drop, not a good idea. When the water sits in those pipes overnight, the metals can leach into it. So let it run just a bit. Okay, and then also choose a filtration system. You can have filters at your main, you can have filters at your faucet, and make sure you replace those filters.
Quickly, before you go, fridge and pots and pans.
Yep, so refrigerators, right? 48 million cases of foodborne illness in the country. A lot of those stem and happen and develop in the refrigerator. You know, we wash our vegetables when we come back from the market. Wash them when they come out of the refrigerator. Think about all the cross-contamination that can happen in that space. And when it comes to pots and pans, non-stick cookware has PFCs in it, and then when you burn that, it releases to the air, and that can make you really sick, causes flu-like symptoms. So you're better off with stainless steel and cast iron and glass.
I think I'm going to stay at work. Tom, thanks for coming on the show. Good to see you.